Welcome to Midnight Horrors. Dive into chilling tales and dark mysteries. Subscribe for more spine-tingling stories. Chapter 1. The Unsettling Call. The Frosty Beginning. Default text winter chill hung in the air like a silent specter, wrapping itself around the quiet suburban streets. Snowflakes drifted lazily down, blanketing the world in a soft, white shroud. I was an 18-year-old high school senior, and what started as a winter break job with DoorDash had quickly spiraled into a nightmare. With my breath visible in the cold air, I double-checked my phone. The order was for a small house at the end of a secluded street, nestled between bare trees that cast long, skeletal shadows. My friends had warned me about delivering in bad weather, but the lure of extra money was too tempting to resist. The shadow on the wall. Arriving at the address, the house appeared ordinary, a typical two-story home with holiday decorations still hanging from the gutters. But something felt off. As I approached the door, I noticed it was ajar just enough to see the darkness inside. A woman's voice, young and vibrant, called out from within, "Is that the delivery?" I hesitated, the snow crunching beneath my feet, as I caught sight of a shadow on the wall, a silhouette that did not match the woman's movements. My instincts screamed at me to leave, but curiosity and the expectation of a tip pushed me forward. A glimpse of horror. Stepping inside, the warmth was a stark contrast to the icy world outside. The woman gestured for me to approach, but her smile never reached her eyes. As I placed the bag on the table, my gaze drifted to the shadow again, not shifting, contorting as if taunting my senses. Just as quickly as it had appeared, the shadow vanished, leaving a hollow feeling in my chest. I mumbled a quick goodbye and left, the sense of being watched prickling the back of my neck until I reached the safety of my car. Chapter 2. The Haunting Drive. Echoes of fear. Driving away from the house, I couldn't shake the feeling of dread that clung to me. The snow fell thicker, reducing visibility and turning the streets into a deserted labyrinth. Each flake seemed to whisper secrets of the house, of the shadow, and of the woman who seemed eager to have me step inside. As I turned a corner, my phone buzzed with another order, but my mind was miles away, replaying the unsettling encounter. The image of the shadow on the wall haunted me, a reminder that something sinister lurked in that house. The truck with no plate. Lost in thought, I almost missed the truck that appeared in my rearview mirror. Its headlights were off, yet it followed closely, matching my every turn. Panic set in as I realized I had seen the truck earlier, parked a few houses down from my previous delivery. It pulled up beside me at a red light, the driver's face obscured by darkness. The truck had no license plate, only a rusted bumper and a sense of foreboding. The light turned green, and I sped off, hoping to lose my pursuer in the twisting roads. A desperate escape. My heart pounded as I drove aimlessly, trying to shake the truck. I took sharp turns, veered into side streets, but the truck mirrored every move. In desperation, I headed towards the outskirts of town, where the streetlights faded and the forest closed in. Finally, I saw a chance, a narrow alley barely wide enough for my car. I swerved into it, praying the truck would be too large to follow. The gamble paid off. The truck screeched to a halt, unable to continue. I parked in a darkened lot, watching as the truck's headlights disappeared into the night. Relief washed over me, but the terror of the night's events lingered, a reminder of the shadows that hid just out of sight. Chapter 3. The House of Shadows. Return to the unknown. Despite the night's horrors, I couldn't shake the feeling of unfinished business. The shadow haunted my dreams, urging me to uncover the truth. A week later, driven by a mix of curiosity and dread, I returned to the house in daylight. The snow had melted, revealing a neighborhood that seemed deceptively normal. I parked a safe distance away, watching for any signs of life. The house stood silent, its open door a dark mouth that dared me to enter. A clue uncovered, I approached cautiously, every nerve on edge. Inside, the house was eerily quiet, save for the creaking floorboards beneath my feet. I ventured down the hallway, past the kitchen where I had left the delivery. The shadow was gone, but the feeling of unease remained. In the living room, I found a photograph, its frame cracked and forgotten in a corner. It depicted the woman, her smile genuine and warm, standing beside a man whose face was crudely scratched out. Chills ran down my spine as I realized the shadow belonged to him. The revelation. A noise from the basement drew my attention, a soft shuffling like whispers in the dark. Against my better judgment, I followed the sound, each step a battle between fear and curiosity. The basement door creaked open, revealing stairs that descended into darkness. As I reached the bottom, the air turned cold and oppressive. In the dim light, I saw remnants of what once was a life left behind, covered in dust and shadow. The whispering grew louder, forming words that clawed at my sanity. The shadow was here, a presence that lingered, trapped between worlds. It told of betrayal and loss, of a life cut short by the very person I had delivered to. The woman, once a loving partner, had become something else, entirely a keeper of the shadows. Chapter 4. Confronting the Past. The final confrontation. With the truth unveiled, I knew I had to confront the woman. The shadow demanded justice, a release from the torment that bound it to the house. I emerged from the basement, determination replacing fear. The woman waited in the living room, her eyes void of the warmth in the photograph. She greeted me with a knowing smile, aware that her secrets were no longer hidden. The air crackled with tension as we faced each other. The power of shadows. "You've seen him, haven't you?" she asked, her voice a mix of sadness and defiance. I nodded, feeling the weight of the shadow's gaze upon us. The house seemed to hold its breath, anticipating the outcome. Her confession came slowly, a tale of love turned to obsession, of actions driven by desperation and madness. The shadow had been her partner, a victim of her spiraling descent into darkness. She had kept him trapped, a guardian of her guilt. Release and redemption. In the end, it was not confrontation, but compassion that freed the shadow. I offered forgiveness, a promise to carry the truth beyond the confines of the house. The shadow wavered, its form unraveling as it accepted the release. The woman watched in silence, tears carving paths down her cheeks. The shadow dissipated, leaving a sense of peace that filled the void left behind. The house, once a prison of secrets, now stood as a monument to redemption. As I left, the sun broke through the clouds, bathing the street in light. The house, no longer a place of fear, faded into the background of a new day. The shadow's story, once hidden in darkness, would be told, a reminder of the choices that bind and the forgiveness that frees. Thank you for listening to the shadow delivery that will haunt you. If you enjoyed the story, please like and subscribe to our channel for more chilling tales. Your support means a lot to us.